Well, the technicals are looking very good for gold and silver, believe it or not. We've actually, silver, you don't want to really look at the technicals too much, and I don't really look at them very hard. But there are some very basic principles to actually look at and not to totally ignore the technicals. You notice I don't really put a lot of technical stuff out on here at all, but last year, well, it was more than the last year. Actually, it was around April of, or the beginning of 2012, the early part of the year, gold made a double top. And actually at that time, I shorted gold when I saw that, and I made a little bit of money on it. Not a lot, because I didn't hold on long enough, but I made some money on it, right? I actually shorted gold at that time. And that was because it made a double top. And, it's a classic pattern. It's not a guarantee, but it's a classic pattern. But what did gold do this time? It made a double bottom. Basically, it tested about the 1200 mark twice, which it's probably held. And if you're looking at the fundamentals, see, this is where you want to look at the fundamentals. Are the mines making money at the 1200 mark? In other words, could it go through 1200? Maybe. But are they even making money above 1200? No, they're not. You've seen what happened to some of the largest mines going on actually even in South America. They're closing down operations. They're abandoning projects. They're taking losses. They're writing off. Abandonment of projects so they can write off the entire loss. And when they abandon a project, that doesn't mean it's going to be restarted up again. And you're talking about a planned capitalization over many years. So when they do that, it's done. In other words, if they're thinking the price is even going to go to 1,300, it still ain't even worth digging out more gold in a lot of these areas. And these are some big projects that were abandoned by big gold miners. That happened, within 2013. But we saw the double top in gold basically. I guess you could call it around. There was the time in 2012. In August, and then there was also a time in 2013. And in 2012, excuse me, it was 2011 in August, actually September 6th, if you want to get to exactly, I think it was September 6th, $1,921 was the peak in gold. And we actually, had this big run up in 2012, in the beginning of the year. And everybody was out there, oh yeah, it's going up. It actually made a double top. You don't want to look at silver too hard because it's kind of a crazy animal. It kind of throws you all over the place. Gold is the one that better look at and analyze. And so if you go with classic thought, so I thought it was going to go down at that time, and it did. I didn't think it was going to go all the way down to 1,200, but that would have been a nice bet if I did that over a period of years. But it took till over a year later for it to really crash. It really took that long. So, when we see things sparking up again here, it may take a while. It may take a year before it really takes off too. But I'm also looking at something else. It seems like every 3 years or thereabouts, we have this cycle in the metals. Maybe it's not going to be a perfect 3-year cycle. Maybe it won't be around in sometime in 2014. Maybe it'll be 2015. But there's other indications when I'm looking at lunar cycles that 2015 is going to be a major global financial reset, and maybe around September of 2015. So I would think that the next peak in the metals is going to be before that time. But looking at the technicals, there's a double bottom in gold. And you can almost say there's almost a double bottom in silver too, in a way. It got down to 18. It's kind of been floating around in a couple spots, and it's where I think it's going to start getting legs again. Those if they have the budget crisis coming up in, this earlier this year. This is where I thought silver would take off suddenly in 2013. I thought when October comes around in 2013, that was when there's going to be a crisis in the budgets. There's going to be talk about downgrading the debt again with the United States, and ergo gold was going to go up. That is why I predicted earlier that silver would rise suddenly and gold would rise suddenly in 2013. That did not happen. But the reasons why it should have happened are still in place. They just got delayed a little bit. And, in other words, the budget crisis is going to come up soon, even though they're not talking about it. See, I almost look at it this way. It's whatever they talk about and it's in the major media and they're having everybody focus in on is not exactly what you want to be looking at, because sometimes they're leading you astray. You see what I'm saying? They're almost talking like all the problems are resolved. It's almost when the mood is like, oh, the sky is falling and everything's bad. That's when you got to watch out, because maybe that's when, a situation will change, the ebb and the flow, right? But obviously the trend of metals is up. And we just saw a major reset here, and I know there's people out there saying, oh, these people scammed me, and oh, yeah, and I bought silver and I lost this much. You could lose on leverage. Actually, if you buy double leverage, I don't really want to recommend this, but double leverage doesn't erode as fast as triple leverage. That's triple leverage. You can go way up or way down. Options are even more dangerous than that. And double leverage, I know somebody mentioned about it. You might be okay with that, but I don't want to recommend to do that because I'm pretty conservative. But you might be okay with that. Actually, I expect when silver starts getting legs again, and this is just classic thought. This isn't something where, special, but it's something people aren't mentioning. 26 is going to be a level that's going to be resistance, because it was a lot of resistance on the way down. It's classic that it'll be a lot of resistance on the way up. It may not be, but it's classic that it will be. So if you were in silver and you got leverage and say it starts going up that high, that's a hell of a gain anyway. But I don't know if it's going to go that high. It may actually hit resistance at 22 or 23 if it's on the way up too, because it has already there. But 26 sounds like it would be a lot of resistance, I would assume. It's a good assumption because it's classic thought. But it's also classic thought that gold probably made a double bottom. Just like it made a double top from 2011, September, and what was that, end of February? I think it was the end of February of 2012, where it actually had another top there. And it was a lot more clear, the picture was a lot more clear in gold than it was in silver. Silver was a lot more erratic. You really want to analyze gold a lot more than silver to see what's going on with silver if you're going to do tech stuff. It probably will help you a lot more. Because you got to look at both of them. Gold is actually kind of telling you what's going to happen. If gold takes off and it has a lot of legs, and silver staying flat, I'd almost guarantee you, and gold trend, bull trend is moving. Say it is. Silver's not going to stay down flat forever. No way in hell. You're not going to see that. They don't have a perfect 1-to-1 correlation. But then again, watch those ratios with the gold-silver ratio. Because, as silver gets a lot of legs and the ratio of gold and silver changes, and we're talking like 30 ounces of silver buys 1 ounce of gold, I think that the next peak, last time it peaked out, it was around 31 point something ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. I think it's going to go to maybe 28. So therefore, gold might be $2,300 and silver at 75 or something like that, or gold may be $2,400 and silver at 72 to 75. That's where I think the next peak is. What's going to happen though, it's always like it gets all its gains near the end, right before it's going to crash. That's when the bubble hits, and that's when everybody's going to be out pumping gold and silver left and right, and it'll crash again. I'm going to probably dump some physical at that time. I don't know. I may not. I probably will dump a little bit of physical. But I think, because it could still go up from there, but I would think it's going to crash and reset in 2015. Not to $20, but go below 50. And it's going to go up from there. Now, what I think is going to happen is we're probably going to have, a more of a depression like people think than they think. And it's kind of, we haven't really seen a depression yet. and it's probably going to get more severe here in the United States. I've also just read some statistics on Italy. Actually, Italy is looking more like Spain with the unemployment rate. But you have to remember, there's always the underground economy. There always is an underground economy. But that causes the government not to get their money when the economy goes down. And, you know, I talk about underground economy, that can be cash-based, but it can also be barter-based, you know. It's like you're not going to record all that stuff. But if there's a severe gain on metals, I would imagine they're going to greatly jack up. They're going to put an excise tax on metals. I know it. I know they will. If metals start going up to some crazy exorbitant rates, there's going to be an excise tax on them. And you really can't do like-kind exchange with metals like you can with real estate. So it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. But that kind of problem's not bad to have, because that means you had serious gains. You know, so that's not a bad type of problem to have. But, you know, just beware of these naysayers out there, because, you know, they're like talking like they got ripped off. They got, you know, this guy's full of shit. That, you know, I know these people don't know what, nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen with the metals. If somebody knew exactly what's going to happen with the metals and they blabbed it all over the internet and they told everybody what would happen, it would be like on a ship. Everybody would jump to one side, you know what I mean, and it would screw it up. That's why people really, really know, and actually, you know, there's manipulation going on. I mean, it's quite obvious. I mean, they can manipulate it up and down. I think they're going to manipulate it up next time. But people who really know will not tell you a damn thing. They won't tell you a damn thing. What I give out is plain common sense. And you know what? That crap works. That crap works. The mood's so damn negative now. You know, I don't give a shit if people don't buy silver. Don't. I don't give a shit. Actually, I told you, later on, when silver starts getting a lot of legs, and say it does bust through 50, I ain't going to say a damn thing. You know why? Because I probably will start selling a little bit. I might even short it if I see something coming up where I'm ready to hit the trigger. If I see it going up to 72 to 75, or something crazy like that and really fast, I may short it. I may short it on double leverage. I ain't going to say I'm going to do that, though. I might. But I don't like making money on paper. That's what's evil about it. You know? I don't like making money on paper. That's the thing. I get sick of making money on paper. You know? It's like you got a cash flow and that's all you need, or whatever. I mean, I got, you know, I mean, $0, it wouldn't even matter. You know? So as long as I don't lose money, you know? And I ain't going to lose money on metals. I know that. From here, no way. No way in hell. No way in hell. So I ain't worried about it. But I don't like making a lot of money on paper because it feeds the machine. And I can guarantee you that in Italy, the economy is probably fairly robust. Because most of the stuff isn't on paper. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. And like I said, I'm going to keep continuing on with these how-to videos. Because basically, that's money in your pocket in a real sense. If you know how to do something on your own, that's money in your pocket in a real sense. That's really what it is. So what? They can't put a measurement on it. That's good. That's good. That's the way you want it. That's the way you want it. And by the way, it's about 78 degrees in here, but I felt like wearing a jacket, you know, different change on the video here. So anyway, I keep it close to 80 because, I don't know, maybe I'm part lizard. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Oh, by the way, I was looking up some of that garbage on, I put on another video that I had a family member that was, basically his father was a duke, you know, but he was illegitimate. I can also put it down, I also state this. He used to own, you know, when he came to the United States from, because actually he was in the UK, in London, for a couple times, actually picked up his name on the census. And he was in Italy, though, in Italy. Actually in northern Italy. He happened to be in northern Italy in Piedmont area, Piemontese. It's like the French-Italian type of dialect. It's a different type of dialect of Italian. And actually, one of my aunts came from Paris. He was, I don't want to get on with this, but he owned an entire city block in the city of Bayonne, New Jersey. He actually was, even though he didn't get the dudeship, yeah, he knew some stuff. He knew some stuff. So I don't want to mention that family name because there's only one like that. Because anybody with that name is definitely a relative of mine. I know that, definitely. There's only one name like that because it's basically adopted from the English name. So anyway, I just figured I'd throw that in there because I don't know what the hell I threw that in there. I just threw that in there at the last minute. But what the hell? Just a little food for thought. But that doesn't mean I know. Silver's going to be this price or that price, or gold is going to be this price or that price. What I'm offering is common sense. And also, common sense is basically the standard, most likely scenario with the technicals, the classic technicals, the classic cycles, and even the classic lunar cycles. I expect 2015. That's why I'm kind of wondering that silver may get a lot of legs and it start going up in 2014. If it really blasts off hard, it's going to definitely come back below 50. If it really starts blasting off really hard, I know this rabbi talked about September 2015, but I got a suspicion, or more than a suspicion, about some of these lunar cycles and the blood moons and things like that in a 7-year cycle on the Hebrew calendar. September 2015 might be a problem. So silver, if it gets way the hell up over 50 before September 15, and well before September 15, and you got 100,000 freaking bloggers and silver pumpers out there saying it's going to the moon, I don't think it is. But I wouldn't dump all of it. I'd dump some of it. That's my strategy. But I ain't going to say my whole strategy because there's other strategies. And like I said, there's certain things I know, and I don't say. Like I said, I do work with you in the accounting and finance area, and people that really know, they don't blab.